Starbucks has had a rough stretch, sales under pressure, fewer store visits in key quarters, stores closing, layoffs at headquarters, a new CEO, and a turnaround plan literally called Back to Starbucks. For Wall Street, this is a turnaround problem. For customers, it feels more basic. Starbucks just does not feel like Starbucks anymore. Ask why. And most people start with the same complaint. It got too expensive. You can picture the moment someone opens the app, builds their usual drink, sees the total, sees the wait time, and quietly backs out. Online, the mood sounds the same. Too expensive, not worth it anymore, prices keep creeping up. Used to go all the time. Now I just stopped. So start there, with the obvious one, the price.
Yeah, no, I don't anymore because the price of this is insane. I'm sorry, you're telling me a grande iced Dubai chocolate mocha is almost $8. And then with tax, it's $8.37. My meals cost less than that.
Prices have clearly moved up. CNBC cited Technomic data from one U.S. Starbucks location showing a latte up about a quarter from 2020 to 2024. And in cities like New York or Los Angeles, a customized drink can quickly land near $8 or $9. Paying more already bothers people. With inflation and rising prices on almost everything, any price hike stings. But what really hurts Starbucks is the next feeling. You are paying more, and the experience feels worse. Longer waits, crowded pickup areas, less personal interaction, drinks that do not always come out the same. So it is not just that Starbucks got expensive, it got expensive and less worth it. Starbucks used to make that premium feel worth it. You paid more, but you got a place to sit, a small break in your day, a place that felt familiar, a drink that felt like a reward. Now too much of that has thinned out. Your cup is waiting on a shelf with 20 others. The pickup area feels crowded. The barista may still be polite, but polite is not the same as personal. And that is when the question changes. It is no longer just, why is this so expensive? It becomes, what am I actually paying extra for? Before the pandemic, Starbucks had one of the best spots a brand can have. It was built into ordinary movement. On the way to work, you grabbed a latte, maybe a breakfast sandwich, meeting a friend. Starbucks was an easy place to stop, talk, and sit for a while. A student with a packed library could buy one drink and hold a table for a few hours. On weekends, it might be the coffee stop next to Target, the mall, or the grocery store, or the drive-thru you hit on the way to errands. You never really decided to go to Starbucks. It was just there, sitting inside your day. Then the pandemic came, and the route broke. Everything changed. People had to build a coffee routine somewhere else, at home, at the office, from the grocery store. And when the world opened back up, not all of those old Starbucks habits came back with it. Some people returned to the store, but others had already learned something dangerous for Starbucks. They could get through the day just fine without that expensive stop. But people did not stop drinking coffee. The demand just split into pieces. And that is exactly where Starbucks became vulnerable. For years, Starbucks worked because it was the all-in-one coffee stop. One place that gave you caffeine, convenience, a familiar brand, a little status, a treat, and somewhere to sit. That combination was hard to copy, but the market around it got more specialized. Each part of that bundle now has someone who does only that part. If you just wanted cheap caffeine, McDonald's, Dunkin', Wawa, Sheetz, 7-Eleven, or the gas station were cheaper. If you wanted speed, drive-through first chains like Dutch Bros, Scooters, and 7 Brew were built for exactly that. If you wanted better coffee, local roasters and specialty shops had the stronger claim. If you wanted a room with some personality, an independent cafe could feel warmer. And if you wanted to skip the trip altogether, home coffee, the office pot, and grocery store cold brew were already good enough. Nobody beat Starbucks. Everybody took one piece. And the one thing nobody could copy, the room, was about to become its biggest problem. Starbucks built its brand around the third place, somewhere outside home and work where people could sit, relax, and feel like they belonged. Think back to the older Starbucks many people remember. Warm light, soft chairs, wood tables, someone with a laptop, and nowhere to be. The store did not stop being a cafe overnight, but in a lot of locations the balance shifted. More pickup shelves, more mobile orders, more drive-through traffic in the suburbs, more delivery orders moving through the back of the counter. In some stores, fewer comfortable places to settle in. The cafe was still there. It just had to share the room with a much bigger pickup machine. None of these changes was crazy on its own. Mobile order made Starbucks easier to use. Drive-through made sense in car-heavy suburbs. Delivery added another sales channel. Pickup shelves helped move finished drinks out. The trouble is, what happened when all of them landed in the same store? Starbucks became easier to pass through and harder to settle into. It did not erase the third place. It traded pieces of it for efficiency. And that is a big part of why so many customers feel Starbucks does not feel like Starbucks anymore. Customers feel the change from the outside. Workers see how it happens from the inside.
Starbucks is the next Panera's and it's going to go out of business, spoken from a person who was a Starbucks manager for over 3 years. So when I was there in like 2019 to 2021, I believe, something like that, when I was there, they were still on the third place, they were still on coffee, but I started noticing the changes kind of towards the end of my journey there. Of it, they started going more like energizing drinks, and I saw a lot more of 12-year-olds and preteens coming into the store. And then they also really pushed mobile ordering, drive-through times, and even like this Uber Eats kind of thing. It was like Dine and Dash or something, where we would actually go deliver the coffee straight to someone's car door. And so they completely lost the plot, because the whole time I was there, it was, we are the third place. Like, people go home, school, and then they go to Starbucks. We're the place for them to hang out, to catch up, all of that. And then they just disintegrated that with getting rid of coffee and now pushing these disgusting flavored lime green drinks and charging extra for it when they're not even working on their coffee anymore. And so, yeah, it was a good time, but we are definitely seeing the fall of Starbucks.
It is easy to blame the barista. The line is slow. Nobody seems to have time for you. Then you look behind the counter, and the picture flips. A busy Starbucks can be juggling several channels at once. The register, mobile orders, delivery in some locations. The ticket printer keeps spitting out labels. The pickup shelf fills with cups. In a drive-through store, the headset never stops talking. Everyone inside looks busy, but the experience still feels slow. The person who ordered ahead to save time may still watch other drinks come out first because everything eventually lands on the same bar. The barista is not slacking. They are buried, and the surveys back it up. About a quarter of customers now say their wait got longer, up from about a sixth 2 years earlier. And here's the part that really explains the cold feeling. Starbucks knows people miss the human side, so it tries to bring it back with small gestures. A name on the cup, a warmer hello, a little personal touch. The barista will still say hi. They will still call your name. Maybe they will still wish you a good one. They are not being cold, they are just out of time. Starbucks wants the moment to feel personal. But the store often gives workers almost no room to make it personal. So the workers are not a separate story. They help explain why the experience feels colder. Customers pay more and feel like they got less. Workers move faster and feel buried. So why does Starbucks not just fix it? Drop prices, add staff, speed things up, bring back the comfortable store. Because it is trying to do all of that for 3 different groups inside the same building. Customers want it to feel worth the price. Shorter waits, a nicer room, a drink that feels consistent. Workers want enough hands on the floor so they are not drowning. Investors want growth, margins, and more orders out the door. On a good day, those goals can line up. Most days, they pull against each other, and every obvious fix trips over one of them. Keep chasing speed, and the store feels even more like a pickup counter. Bring back the seats and the slower pace, and you can clog the busiest hours. Add more staff, and the experience gets better. But the labor bill climbs. Cut the base price hard, and you quiet the complaints for a while. But you also chip away at the premium image Starbucks spent decades building. That is the bind behind Back to Starbucks. The problem was never really the chairs or the mugs. It is that one store cannot fully be a calm cafe and a fast pickup counter at the same time. To be fair, Starbucks is not done. It is still huge. And Back to Starbucks shows the company understands what people miss: the old coffeehouse feeling. Softer seats, ceramic mugs, a shorter menu, shorter waits. All of that is trying to bring that feeling back. But chairs and ceramic mugs can help, and still not fix a store that feels like a pickup counter at 8 in the morning. Back to Starbucks is not really about furniture. It is about whether the store can feel like a cafe again when it is busiest. The hard part is making that feeling work inside the store Starbucks has already become. And that is the real test. Nostalgia can pull someone back through the door once. But Starbucks does not just need to fix a store. It needs people to feel that this stop belongs in their day again. It needs them to walk in, look around, take the first sip, and think, yes, this is the Starbucks I wanted. So now I want to know what you think. Does Starbucks still feel like Starbucks to you? Or has it become too expensive, too crowded, and too rushed? Tell me in the comments. What was the moment when Starbucks started feeling different for you? And if you found this video useful, hit like, subscribe, and stay with Signal Asia for more business stories behind the brands we think we already understand.